अब राष्ट्रगान होगा।
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा, विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा, तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तव जय गाथा। जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता, जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
We extend a very warm and hearty welcome to Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji. बहुत बहुत स्वागत है माननीय आपका। Your gracious presence has blessed this occasion, sir. We extend a warm welcome to Shri Sandeep Kumar Gupta ji, Chairman Scope and Chairman and Managing Director GAIL India Limited. Shri Brijesh Kumar Upadhyay ji, Vice Chairman Scope and Chairman and Managing Director Goa Shipyard Limited. Shri Atul Sobati ji, Director General Scope. We now request Shri Atul Sobati, Director General, Standing Conference of Public Enterprises, to deliver welcome speech. कृपया स्वागत संबोधन के लिए पधारें।
परम आदरणीय ऑनरेबल वाइस प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडिया श्री जगदीप धनखड़ जी, श्री संदीप कुमार गुप्ता चेयरमैन स्कोप, श्री ब्रिजेश कुमार उपाध्याय वाइस चेयरमैन स्कोप, सीनियर ऑफिशियल्स फ्रॉम वेरियस मिनिस्ट्रीज, गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट्स, स्टैट्यूटरी एंड रेगुलेटरी बॉडीज, स्कोप एसोसिएट्स, डिग्नेटरीज, चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव्स, डायरेक्टर्स एंड सीनियर एग्जीक्यूटिव्स of public sector enterprises, award winners, and the media personnel present here, ladies and gentlemen, Namaskar. It's my pleasure to welcome you all today to the presentation ceremony of Scope Awards that seeks to commemorate the achievements of public sector enterprise in India. For this momentous occasion, it's indeed a great honor and privilege for us to have amongst us Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji, to encourage the public sector fraternity by presenting the Scope Awards and also enlighten us with his guidance and words of wisdom. Sir, we welcome you and extend our heartfelt thanks to you for gracious presence today. It's a great encouragement for all of us. Today is the landmark as we celebrate the achievements of the public sector and makes a pledge to attain even greater heights. Ladies and gentlemen, as you are aware, the journey of PSCs has indeed been riveting as they grew from 5 PSCs during the first 5-year plan to the present strength of 389. Envisages to play the pivotal role of enhancing the socio-economic development of the country since the inception, PSCs have emerged as prudent commercial entities as they contribute over 13% to India's GDP while registering a gross turnover of nearly 32 lakh crores, which surpasses the GDP of many countries. Defying the common perception, 76% of the public sector enterprises recorded profit in the previous year, registering a net profit of 2.5 lakh crores. Undoubtedly, public sector has been effectively contributing as the country moves on an upward trajectory and as India now aims to become Viksit. It's vital that PSCs as the backbone of the economy, persevere their commitment to drive the nation forward and evolve with the changing times. In this journey of public sector enterprises, Standing Conference of Public Enterprises Scope and apex body of PSCs continuously work toward not only enhancing the capacities of the PSCs, but also undertake initiatives to showcase the achievements of the enterprises to the world. Scope Awards is an effort in this direction. These awards are culmination of rigorous process through an eminent jury headed by former Chief Justice of India. Sir, the acknowledgement of the hard work of the PSCs in your august presence would encourage the PSCs to continue to excel and innovate in diverse fields. I want to congratulate all the award winners and convey our best wishes to the public sector fraternity. Once again, I would like to express my gratitude to Honorable Vice President for his time and guidance. I also want to take this opportunity to thank Department of Public Enterprises, Ministry of Finance and Corporate Affairs, and all departments and ministries of Government of India, statutory and regulatory bodies for the continued guidance and support in all endeavors of scope. I am also grateful to our business associates, many of whom are present here, including ILO, GIZ Germany, AIOE, ICAI, ICMAI, ICSI, IMT, CCL, IAPA, International Solar Alliance for their partnership, and also to the PSCs for their enthusiastic participation and support in all the scope initiatives, motivating us to innovate every time. तो आइए आज एक साथ मिलकर सार्वजनिक उपक्रमों की उपलब्धियों का त्योहार मनाएं और राष्ट्र निर्माण के लिए स्वयं को पुनः प्रतिबद्ध करें। धन्यवाद। जय भारत।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका। Now we are going to have a short session on Beyond Nation Building towards a Global Viksit Bharat with Empowered PSEs by Shri Anandaroop Ghosh, Deloitte.
Good morning, everyone. Honorable Vice President, sir, Mr. Upadhyay, sir, Mr. Gupta, sir, Mr. Sopti, sir, thank you very much for inviting me here. And it's indeed a great privilege and honor to be present here in front of all of you, a group of individuals who are some of the best minds in Indian businesses. What I wanted to do today is, and as Mr. Sopti has already spoken about it, you represent the bulwark on which the Indian business world is standing today. You also represent not just the Indian economic and business world, but also Indian society, and you have contributed massively to the society over the last many years since independence. What I wanted to do over this very short presentation is talk about two things. One is to acknowledge the role that public sector enterprises is playing and has played, but more importantly to also talk about the role that you will be playing as you lead India into the next decade and into the next generation. So, if you look at the contribution of public sector enterprises to the gross domestic product of India, we are at almost about 30% of India's GDP. But sir, you could argue that India has always been a very strong public sector enterprise. So, does this really represent real value addition? And that is where, sir, I want to turn to the next part of what we wanted to talk about, which is to say that it is not just about the fact that you have incredible amount of size and coverage and reach, but it is also about how efficient your organizations are today. The way in which you're contributing to the central exchequer, the extent to which you're contributing to employment generation in the country, the extent you're contributing to the market capitalization, to exports, to gross value added. All of these things, public sector enterprises as a group represent one of the largest segments in the country. But that still is static. What is more important, sir, is the extent to which, in our opinion, you have grown and performed and shown your efficiency in the last few years. It is incredible to see that in the last 5 years, public sector enterprises have grown their profitability by 157%. And also please note that over the same period of time, the shareholder returns that public sector enterprises, all of you have given to Indian shareholders, is higher than what the Bombay Stock Exchange Index or the Nifty Index has returned. And also, while doing that, you've also contributed significantly to shareholder value creation and to the government by significantly increasing dividends over this period of time. And all of these effectively represent the way in which the size that organizations that all of you represent is translating also into the efficiency that all of you are bringing in. But sir, a lot of this is still figures. All of this is numbers that represent economic and financial capability of all of you. There's also a change that we sitting outside of public sector see changing in your organizations. The fundamental dynamic and the fundamental way in which some of your organizations have been built are also going through a change to adapt to the newer world. Your organizations, and we are seeing multiple examples of that, the way in which your organizations are becoming more open to younger multi-generational talent. We have an energy company that we work with where we have seen the entire capability development program, the leadership development program is built to encourage younger leaders to come into the workforce. Some of you have built the biggest platforms, and not some of it, India's biggest online learning platform has been built by a public sector enterprise sitting here. The nature of work that all of you are doing in being able to drive diversity and inclusion into organizations is something that the private sector can only hope to emulate. And here we don't just talk about gender diversity alone. What you have driven is diversity across all forms, across ethnicity, religion, region, etc. And some of these things, and while doing that, in all of this, while doing all of this, you've also ensured that you've driven significant amount of focus on driving India's national security in the way in which all of you have come together to help support the country during the pandemic, etc. I'll just leave a small statistic here for you to think about. Public sector enterprises in related to national security segment are the biggest spenders of R&D in the country. And that just represents the focus that spending on R&D means taking money off from something else. But that spending represents the focus that you have brought in. I want to, for a moment now, move to the future. And we've spoken about what we have seen so far, but interestingly also it's important to see where you are going to take us into the next generation. Sir, India has the ability to not just build jobs, but build quality jobs. What we are seeing today is a situation where we could argue that technology might be taking away jobs. Our focus is not to have technology take away jobs, but we need you to help us in formulating ways in which technology and people can work together to build better quality of jobs. The other area where we see your role being very important for the rest of the country is in the way in which you've always built skills in the country. And we would like your help going forward in being able to be the flag bearer of skill development in the country. We have, as you acknowledge, the way technology is moving, the academic infrastructure will always be playing catch up to that speed. So the role that you play in building capability within the organization then supports the larger Indian economy in building capabilities in their organizations and systems. The third is on R&D. Sir, India has an interesting situation where Indian companies at an average spend lower on R&D than global counterparts. Indian companies at an average spend about 0.6, 0.7% of GDP on R&D, whereas globally in the US, for instance, it's 4%. But again, a statistic that I wanted to highlight for some of you here. In the last 5 years, R&D spending across your organizations has gone up by 71%. And as you keep doing that more and more, it also drives, R&D that you generate also drives better value creation, knowledge creation for the rest of the economy as well. So again, our request to the public sector enterprises, to all of you, is to keep going on that trajectory. The other part for us is the way a lot of you represent large manufacturing organizations. So the way Industry 4.0 is coming in, the way technology is coming into production, will enable us, and your adoption of that will enable us to become much stronger as a manufacturing hub for the world, an objective that all of us are acutely aware that we have to live up to. And then finally, as we go through all of this, you have always been organizations that have driven the highest in the way of governance and focus on environment and society, and that is something that we would request, that you create better governance norms that the private sector can also emulate, to be able to drive better ESG awareness in the country. With that said, I wanted to close with thanking Scope as well. So over the last many years, we've seen Scope nudge the private sector organizations in helping them be better, be stronger, and be more focused in driving better climate awareness, better digitization, women's empowerment, leadership, and so on. And finally, I'll go back to something that our Honorable Prime Minister said on PSU Day in 2018. He said public sector enterprises will be built on 3 I's: incentive, imagination, and institution building. Those 3 objectives of institution building and driving greater imagination for the rest of the country still rests on you. We will look forward to you driving this awareness and institution building for the rest of the country as well. And we'll hope Scope and all of you continue in making India a much stronger nation going forward. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Shri Anandarup Ghosh. May I now request Shri Sandeep Kumar Gupta, Chairman Scope, to kindly speak on the occasion.
Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji, Shri Atul Sopti, Director General Scope, Shri Brijesh Kumar Upadhyay, Vice Chairman Scope and CMD Goa Shipyard Limited, senior officers from ministries and departments of Government of India, chief executives, directors and senior executives of central public sector enterprises, award winners and their families, other dignitaries and distinguished guests, media personnel, and Scope executives, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to everyone. It is truly an honor to have Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji, amidst us today. On behalf of Scope, the PSU fraternity, and myself, I would like to welcome you, sir, and extend my heartfelt gratitude to you for gracing the occasion. It is indeed a matter of great privilege for us as we gather here today to felicitate the achievements of the public sector fraternity, and this recognition is being bestowed by the Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji himself. The presence of a great stalwart who has led the nation in various capacities and portfolios with his passion for development of the country, both economically and socially, is a matter of immense pride for all of us. The past few years have been challenging for the world at large. As global economies recovered after the pandemic, issues such as technological disruptions, impact of climate change, and the geopolitical conflicts have added further complexity to the global landscape. Under the able and visionary leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, the country managed to steer through the various geopolitical challenges and economic crises by capitalizing on the inherent opportunities and strength of Indians. The accomplishment of the Indian economy is evident from the fact that India is the fastest growing economy in 2024 and is poised to shortly become the 3rd largest economy in a matter of years. The voice of India
The voice of India is now being recognized as the voice of growing economies having a significant place in many international forums. This is evident from the many achievements of the country as can be seen over a period of time. India has evolved into a country with expertise in space technology, information technology, artificial intelligence, and abundant human resources. Walking hand in hand with wisdom from its ancient past and confidence to stride into the future, it has demonstrated self-sufficiency and compassion to support other countries, as was visible during the pandemic when the country met the vaccine demands of the world. The recent successful completion of the G20 meet under the country's presidency saw the world echo a similar sentiment while acknowledging India's emergence as the leader of the global South. In this long journey of 7 decades of the country since its independence, the public sector enterprises have played a defining role. While DG Scope has already given an overview of the exemplary performance of the fraternity, I would just like to add that today PSCs have played a critical role in ensuring economic development, social justice, and employment generation. This is apparent from the fact that PSCs together have achieved capex of more than rupees 2 lakh crore continuously in the last 3 financial years, have registered close to 50% growth in their revenue and more than 100% growth in profits over the last 5 years, while adding to the stakeholders' wealth by registering more than 50% increase in the dividend payout and nearly 35% increase in the spend on the corporate social responsibility. It is also heartening to note that we as PSC fraternity contribute over 5 lakh crore to the central exchequer in the form of taxes, duties, and dividends. And according to an estimate, we contribute to about 14% of the country's GDP. In other words, PSUs have fulfilled the dream and purpose of their genesis by contributing to social development with commercial prudence while adhering to highest benchmarks of corporate governance. The PSUs, while ensuring socio-economic development of the country, have served as the prime carrier of government initiatives, extending support to the nation in the most challenging times. Sir, I am happy to let you know that supporting the various endeavors of PSCs, Standing Conference of Public Enterprises, that is SCOPE, an apex body of Indian PSCs, is determined to focus on fortifying the capacities of the fraternity in pertinent conventional areas while also developing their strengths in emerging areas and recognizing their untiring efforts towards the development of the country. In this regard, sir, I am proud to share that SCOPE is relentlessly making its efforts to enable advancement of the PSCs in emerging areas including women empowerment, digital transformation, climate change mitigation, leadership development in the new normal, and incorporating artificial intelligence to optimize business processes, besides ensuring capacity enhancement of PSCs in many other areas. While continuing with our various initiatives today, we take the onus to recognize and appreciate the achievements and resilience of the PSCs by felicitating them with the SCOPE Awards, which I am sure will encourage the fraternity to continue with their good work. In our endeavor to further propel PSCs to greater heights, sir, your guidance is of paramount importance, and it is indeed our honor to receive your invaluable insights. This in turn would enable SCOPE and PSCs to enhance corporate excellence for accelerated and sustainable growth of the country so that India is considered the ultimate epitome of success. I once again thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation to grace the occasion and give away the awards. I also congratulate all the award winners and wish all others also to perform to their best capacity in the future times. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Chairman Scope. उच्च मानदंडों की उत्कृष्टता को प्रोत्साहित करने के लिए तथा स्वस्थ प्रतियोगिता वातावरण बनाए रखने के लिए स्कोप पुरस्कार प्रदान किए जाते हैं। और अब हम विनम्र विनती करते हैं माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति महोदय आपसे कि कृपया स्कोप पुरस्कार अपने कर कमलों द्वारा प्रदान करें। माननीय कृपया इसके लिए मंच के सामने आने की कृपा करें। विभिन्न ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस को एक या एक से ज्यादा पुरस्कार भी प्राप्त हो रहे हैं, परंतु सहूलियत की दृष्टि से मंच पर सिंबॉलिकली उन्हें एक ही ट्रॉफी तथा साइटेशन प्रदान की जाएगी। Now I call upon Indian Oil Corporation Limited to receive the Scope Eminence Award for Institutional Excellence, Maharatna and Navratna PSCs, Scope Eminence Award for Women Empowerment, Scope Meritorious Award for Environmental Excellence and Sustainability Development. Now I would like to call upon Ms. Shukla Mistry, Director Refineries, IOCL, who is being conferred with the Scope Excellence Award for Outstanding Woman Manager in PSEs while serving as General Manager Projects, IOCL. May I now call upon Hindustan Petroleum Corporation Limited to receive the Scope Eminence Award for Human Resource Development, Scope Eminence Award for Digital Transformation, Scope Meritorious Award for Effective Implementation of RTI Act. Now I would like to call upon Mr. Mukesh Kumar Surana, who is being bestowed with the Scope Excellence Award in Individual Leadership Category 1 Maharatna and Navratna PSEs as former Chairman and Managing Director HPCL. Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited. I call upon Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited to receive the Scope Eminence Award on R&D Technology Development and Innovation, Scope Meritorious Award for R&D Technology Development and Innovation, Commendation Certificate of Scope Excellence Award for Special Institutional Category Digitalization. I now call upon Oil and Natural Gas Corporation Limited to receive the Scope Eminence Award for Environment Excellence and Sustainable Development, Scope Meritorious Award for Good Corporate Governance. Oil India Limited. I now call upon Oil India Limited to receive the Scope Eminence Award for Corporate Social Responsibility and Responsiveness. May I now call upon Power Grid Corporation of India Limited to receive the Scope Meritorious Award for Corporate Social Responsibility and Responsiveness. Mr. I.S. Jha, I would like to call upon him to receive the Scope Excellence Award for Individual Leadership Category 1, Maharatna and Navratna PSEs as former Chairman and Managing Director, Power Grid. Ms. Seema Gupta, I would like to call upon her for receiving Scope Eminence Award for Outstanding Woman Leadership as former Director Operations, Power Grid. Power Finance Corporation Limited, इन्हें मिल रहा है Scope Excellence Award for Individual Category 1, Maharatna and Navaratna PSEs, Scope Meritorious Award for Best Managed Bank, Financial Institution or Insurance Company. और अब बारी आती है REC लिमिटेड की, इन्हें मिल रहा है कमेंडेशन सर्टिफिकेट फॉर स्कोप एक्सीलेंस अवार्ड इन द कैटेगरी ऑफ स्पेशल इंस्टीट्यूशनल डिजिटलाइजेशन. Engineers India Limited. I call upon Engineers India Limited to receive the Scope Eminence Award for Women Empowerment. Rights Limited, Scope Eminence Award for Institutional Excellence, Mini Ratna 1 and 2 PSEs and Scope Eminence Award for Corporate Governance. NLC India Limited. I would like to call upon NLC India Limited to receive the Scope Eminence Award for Digital Transformation. Bharat Electronics Limited. I would like to request Bharat Electronics Limited to receive the Scope Excellence Award for a special institutional category of digitalization. बारी आती है NMDC लिमिटेड की और इन्हें मिल रहा है स्कोप एमिनेंस अवार्ड फॉर कॉर्पोरेट सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी एंड रिस्पॉन्सिवनेस। National Aluminium Company Limited is receiving the Commendation Certificate for Scope Meritorious Award for Good Corporate Governance. I would like to call upon Railtel Corporation of India Limited to receive the Scope Eminence Award for Institutional Excellence, Mini Ratna 1 and 2 PSEs. Now I call upon IREL India Limited to receive the Scope Excellence Award for Special Institutional Category Turn Around. Moil Limited, I call upon Ms. Usha Singh, Director HR Moil, to receive the Scope Excellence Award for Outstanding Woman Manager in PSEs as former General Manager, NMDC. I call upon NHPC Limited to receive the Commendation Certificate of Scope Meritorious Award for effective implementation of RTI Act. SJVN Limited for Scope Excellence Award for Institutional Category 2 Mini Ratna 1 and 2 PSEs. Scope Meritorious Award for Corporate Social Responsibility and Responsiveness. Electronics Corporation of India Limited. I call upon Electronics Corporation of India Limited to receive the Scope Meritorious Award for R&D, Technology Development and Innovation. National Backward Classes Finance and Development Corporation. I call upon National Backward Classes Finance and Development Corporation to receive the Scope Eminence Award for Institutional Excellence Section 8 PSEs, Scope Meritorious Award for Best Managed PSEs set up under Section 8 of the Companies Act 2013. I call upon National Handloom Development Corporation Limited to receive the Scope Excellence Award for Institutional Category 3, Other Profit-Making Surplus Generating PSEs. NTPC Sale Power Company Limited. I call upon NTPC Sale Power Company Limited to receive the Commendation Certificate of Scope Meritorious Award for Best Practices in Human Resource Management. THDC India Limited, Scope Meritorious Award for Best Practices in Human Resource Management. न्यूक्लियर पावर कॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ इंडिया लिमिटेड और इन्हें मिल रहा है स्कोप मेरिटोरियस अवार्ड फॉर इनोवेटिव प्रैक्टिसेस इन वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट। I call upon Punjab National Bank to receive the Scope Excellence Award for Commendation Certificate of Scope Meritorious Award for Innovative Practices in Women Empowerment. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी और सभी पुरस्कार विजेताओं को हृदय से बधाई और बहुत बहुत सारी शुभकामनाएं। Today we feel honored to have with us Honorable Vice President amongst us. माननीय, आपकी अत्यंत गरिमामय उपस्थिति हम सब के लिए एक आशीर्वाद की तरह है। माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति महोदय, आपसे हमारी करबद्ध प्रार्थना है कि कृपया हम सबको संबोधित करें, हम सबका मार्गदर्शन करें। एक बार जोरदार तालियां माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति महोदय के लिए।
श्री संदीप कुमार गुप्ता, Chairman Scope and Chairman and Managing Director, GAIL India Limited. Grateful to him for the invite. In his brief discourse, he traversed significant aspects, opportunities and challenges before public sector. Shri Brajesh Kumar Upadhyay, Vice Chairman Scope and Chairman Managing Director, Goa Shipyard Limited. He keeps low profile and we have to be watch out. Those who keep low profile are extremely impactful. He has a tough agenda on the hand for the nation along with his peers, and I'm sure things will take proper shape. Sri Atul Sopti ji, Director General Scope, nothing happens in Scope without him. And if he is one who is drawn from public sector, well, Sandeep can speak more about it. The challenges he faces from the Director General. Fortunately, both of them are in sync with each other. Fortunate for all of us. Officials of PSCs, Ministry and Departments, distinguished audience. I must start with a disclaimer. I am regarded by legal fraternity and people who know me well as a public sector fanatic. I believe in public sector because of its talent, commitment, direction and accomplishments. And the one who introduced me into public sector is here, Sri Sushil Rungta. former chairman said, he gets the best out of his professionals while keeping them in good mood. I have known it, I have seen it. I had the good fortune when Brazilian giant Vale had coal mines in Australia and declined to make available coal to sale. The contract was $94 per ton. He was made to buy at $303 per ton. He couldn't digest it, took to a course which was unusual then. We went for international commercial arbitration. He sought my legal assistance as also of others. When a critical issue came, because Vale had invoked force majeure because there were floods, he said, there is one gentleman in SAIL who has retired, will seek his services. And I think we got an award of $167 or $176 million dollars, and the amount actually came into his coffers. That speaks volumes, because the success of that arbitration was on account of spinal strength of SAIL human resource. They did everything which no other one they could do. My second premise for accepting the invite, I would have otherwise also accepted, but I accepted it with a sense of very great satisfaction. Your jury is headed by one of the finest men of Indian judiciary, Justice Tirth Singh Thakur. Anything that carries his stamp is bound to be suffering most tough evaluation. He is guided only by one aspect, and that is merit. He is guided by another aspect also, but that is also merit. So I know each one of you who have got the embellishments today can take great pride that they reflect not only your hard work, not only your great achievements, not only your exemplifying commitment to duty, but also a stamp of jury chairman, Shri Tirth Singh Thakur, former Chief Justice of India. Having overcome this disclaimer, I must indicate to you, it was a hurdle to me to be associated with public sector. I was Governor State of West Bengal, and Steel Makers of India had a conference, and they invited me. I looked at them. I had appeared against them virtually in most cases. So I told them, if I ever have the occasion to be senior advocate again, which has been constitutionally deprived now, I said I will be away from public sector as a legal professional. I am therefore particularly beholden to the Indian system of making me vice president. I have not been put to test, otherwise I might have wavered and leaned for a good cause and rationale on public sector side. Public sector, I wouldn't go into other aspects, you know it all. If I were to indicate that we have so many accomplishments, so much contribution to GDP, all that, well, in a very sound presentation, this has already been done. Public sector is our pride. Public sector is spine of Indian economy. and you all are spinal strength of public sector. I want people at large, particularly the corporate sector, to know it. We need to give recognition to public sector, its human resource that is long overdue. When you take into account conditions of our peers, they are in geometrical situations. But when it comes to the table, you are far ahead of them. And I'm sure the nation is greatly benefiting thereby. The reflection made by our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi about public sector enterprises, and he reflected it as a visionary. He could realize your strength, and he therefore indicated public sector enterprise stands for profit. People have misconception. They associate public sector with liability. No. Go to the hard facts. Public sector does stand for profit. And the profit is not only in the balance sheet, the profit is in your massive contribution for societal upliftment and elements of society that matter to all of us. He goes on to say, profit and as social benefit. Imagine in a country like ours, 100 million gas connections being given to those mothers, sisters, nani, dadi, who were using a chulha with fukni, tears in their eyes, feeding us. Prime Minister had a vision. The vision was executed by public sector, 100 million gas connections given free. Hats off to you, contribution. It's a transformational mechanism that has not only helped them wipe their tears, but it has strengthened them to dream, achieve big, and they are contributing for our economy. Look at the other aspect. Remember the days when going to a bank was a tough job. They would never be keen to open your account. If we come to the present statistics, 500 million accounts in general category, so well accomplished, a vision executed by public sector. No one else could do it. The benefit was to a nation which houses 1/6 of humanity. And what are the consequences? Because of this massive banking inclusion, thanks to efficiency of our public sector, we now have a transparent, accountable mechanism for transfer of money. It has been tested time and again. I am son of a farmer. 110 million farmers, thrice a year, get money direct in their accounts, thanks to public sector. You have not facilitated only the government machinery. You have really surcharged. You have given to farmers ability to receive that amount. And it has cut down interventions, leakage, corruption. The amount reaches directly. Again, congratulations to public sector. So, the Prime Minister further goes on to say, while continue contributing to economic fiscal capital that you do, he appealed, and which you have vindicated, to give back to the society by contributing and bolstering the social capital as well. He said so in the beginning of his tenure, he can now have sense of satisfaction that you have vindicated the trust which he reposed in you. Public challenge to public sector arises on account of some misconceptions. Fortunately, they are disappearing fast. I have great respect for the corporate world. They have talent. They are contributing for our economy. But I wish to indicate from this platform that if on the same table, for the same cause, if there are people from public sector and private sector, the private sector is looked up as leading the path. I don't have to go far. You can look to metal industry, you will know about it. And therefore, I have always been saying that rich human resource of public sector is to be further exploited, because we are living now in times that are dynamic and fast changing. We have to live with disruptive, futuristic technologies. Those technologies will guide our path. They have entered our office, our home. We have to ensure these technologies unleash their power for positivity. And for that, public sector will have to engage in securing research and development. Fortunately, Government of India has taken initiatives and is in the league of nations. The number is not in double digit. When we talk of quantum computing, we have thought of it well in time. There is a quantum commission, allocation of 6,000 crores. We have to go ahead. If we come to green hydrogen mission, look at the potential it has. Already 19,000 crores have been committed to this mission. By one estimate, by 2030, there would be about 8-9 lakh jobs and 6 lakh crore investments. These are the areas where public sector should take initiative. I would go further. Research and development in the world has been catalyzed by the corporate, by the industry. Research and development will define how strong a nation will be, how secure as a nation we will be. I had the good fortune to address 3 international conferences on security aspects, focusing particularly on Indo-Pacific. Wars will no longer be fought in conventional manner. They will be technology-driven. Public sector has always risen to the call of the nation. Whenever there was need for the nation to get a healing touch, public sector has come forward and then repaired its balance sheet also. Something unique which is not shared by the corporate world. Therefore, please handhold institutions. I'm a strong votary of research and development. But I'm concerned somewhat when I look back. If Government of India has given $5 million to an institute in the United States, well, we had money here. We are a country that was home to Takshila, Nalanda. The world was looking up to us. We must have focused on our own institutes. And just imagine another great big house here, $50 million. Foothold has been given to those institutions in the financial capital of the country. I appreciate the corporate leaders must have done it in a thoughtful manner. They must have looked at a global perspective. But when we have the potential, that potential needs to be exploited. We never had an ecosystem which is available to now, us to now. No one knows better than public sector that there was a time when power corridors were infested with lies and agents. Extra legal mechanism was there to leverage decision making. Nothing could work without corruption being its mode. Those power corridors now stand fully sanitized. Transparency and accountability are the new norm. And these aspects matter to you because they allow the public sector to have good play in the joints and play without their hands and feet tied down. Let me narrate to you when the Honorable Finance Minister was making an address in the last session, and she used the term phone banking. I intervened and wanted to know from the Honorable Finance Minister. I know the literal meaning of phone banking, and phone banking as such is a good term, but the way she was reflecting was worrisome. So I requested the Honorable Finance Minister, please enlighten me. What do you mean by phone banking? And that phone banking was, pick up a phone, tell the banking heads, give this much amount. By that you tie down that bank, hands and feet, and then want it to perform. Gone are those days now. Those pernicious tendencies of which public sector was victim, they never originated in public sector. Public sector could not perform on occasions because the governance was not of the kind which it should be. We now have a governance mechanism for every industry, public or private, to perform because transparency, accountability are the new fulcrum of it. Look at the other way around. There is an ecosystem now in place where every young man, every boy and girl in the country can fully exploit his or her potential, expand energy, realize dreams and aspirations. The government is in affirmative mode, has created immensely impactful mechanism that is empowering the people. That will empower the public sector as well. I know for sure patronage is not a word in public sector. Public sector on its own has never believed in patronage. It has performed objectively. There has been some kind of incursion in their governance domain by the authorities at one point of time where they were directed and they were helpless. Now there is no such constraint. You can perform. You are performing. You have to outperform no sector but yourself. And that is why in Amrit Kal, firm foundations have been laid for what our Bharat will be at 2047. And Bharat at 2047 will be a developed nation and a world leader. Let me take you to another aspect. Empowerment does not come with knee-jerk reactions. Empowerment comes with bold decisions. And the bold decision was half of humanity, women, they have to participate in governance. They have to have constitutionally structured mechanism that they will participate. This eluded us for 3 decades. Efforts were made. I don't doubt the efforts, but success eluded us. But a great event happened in September 2023. September 20, 2023, Lok Sabha passed the historic, epochal bill providing for reservation to women to the extent of 1/3 in Lok Sabha and state legislatures. And this should be understood in proper perspective. And the proper perspective is the number will always be more than 1/3 because women can always contest from their usual seats, general seats. This reservation has a great societal element. It is horizontal, it is vertical, which means scheduled caste women, scheduled tribe women. For these two categories, there is already a reservation in parliament and legislatures. But 1/3 of that category will be women. Imagine by end of this decade, what will be shape of our parliament? More than 1/3 will be women. That's a great accomplishment. The entire world has acknowledged it. But I appeal to you, people before me are not ordinary people. You have a track record of success. You are gifted with sharp intellect. You are discerning minds. Can this be effected in 2024? There will have to be delimitation. So greatest threat comes to us from informed minds. Here is a gentleman. He held high positions. You regard him well because he happened to be finance minister of the country. Had a long parliamentary career. And comes out with a thought immediately. Why not now? If informed mind, sensible mind, whom we regard well, trades on ignorance of the people, it is antithetical to morality, ethics, and injustice to the nation. We had in the world of finance, someone had his workstation outside this country, came to this country as chief economic advisor, was lucky to be RBI governor, could not get a second term, tried for it as I go for by public domain inputs, and then says two things. They hurt me. I can't digest those two things. One, India's rise will not be more than 5%. It was 7.6%. Why silence by him? And the second was awful, ignoble, totally unjustifiable. What will happen? कि भारत सुपर पावर बनेगा तो क्या करेगा? और उनको परेशान करना है. मतलब ये बात ट्विटर पर कह देना कि क्यों बनना चाहते हो सुपर पावर? किसको परेशान करना चाहते हो? He betrays ignorance about 5,000 years of civilizational ethos. This country किसी को परेशान नहीं किया है. This country has never believed in expansion. Our Prime Minister is on record when the world is facing conflagrations. This is not an era of expansion. War is no solution. Diplomacy and dialogue are essential. I therefore appeal to all of you. हम भारतीय हैं. भारतीयता हमारी पहचान है. हम महान देश के नागरिक हैं. हमने वो देख रहे हैं अकल्पनीय, अप्रत्याशित विकास जिसका कभी सोचा नहीं था. I was elected to Parliament in 1989. I had the good fortune to be member of Council of Ministers. And what I saw, our gold had to be taken in physical form by an aircraft to two banks of Switzerland to save our financial credibility. Our foreign exchange was fluctuating around $1 billion then. Look at where we are now. I therefore appeal to you. You are leaders in one form or the other. Those who are before me and those who are accessing this program, They are influencers. Your word will count. Time has come when, as Indians, we must believe in economic nationalism. Our country is being bled because of imports of items that we can make here. We are not respecting be vocal for local. Being vocal for local, as indicated by the Prime Minister, is encapsulating a sense of economic nationalism. हम क्या import कर रहे हैं? दिए, candle, carpet, curtain, furniture. Should we be doing that? When we import these items, there is a 2-point impact. One, जो यहाँ बना सकता है, उसके हाथ से हम काम छीन रहे हैं. जो एंटरप्रेन्योर बन सकता है, उसको हम धक्का दे रहे हैं. आवश्यकता नहीं है. I am sure if each one here takes it upon himself or herself to generate this vibe of economic nationalism, it will have exponential impact. Second, and which is more critical to you, the people here, can we suffer our raw material being exported outside? Go to some of the ports, and iron ore is going in shiploads. Can't we add value to that iron ore? I know those dealing in iron ore are doing it for profit. But we cannot sacrifice economic nationalism on the plank of fiscal gain. We have capacity to add value to our raw material. Some countries in the world have taken it upon themselves that their raw material will not leave its shores unless value is added. We must do it. We are importing certain items. We must have a think tank that analyzes very carefully how to ensure we don't import those items. That mechanism has to be there. I am indicating to you, this is an important forum. I interacted with trade leaders, industry leaders, business leaders in organized manner. I said, if you have a point, you want that point to be addressed by governance, put that point to me. After it has been filtered, after all stakeholders have conversed on one platform, we'll find a way out. I would greatly appreciate that if any one of you here has some input, please utilize this platform. Let it crystallize in the shape of a document. The legislature will come to aid. The executive will be too happy. You never had a prime minister before, and I'm not comparing. I'm not going to compare. Others were great in their own respect, but this man is driven by innovation. This man is futuristic. He leaves nothing undone, and it is for you to see. Just reflect last 6 months. Did we ever imagine we'll have one of the top 10 convention centers in the world, Bharat Mandapam? Did you hear about it? G20? World leaders from all over the planet came here. Prime Minister received them. What was the backdrop? Sun Temple, Konark. And when they went through that gallery, they were exposed to 5,000 years of our civilizational wealth. And then immediately, P20 came, Parliament meeting of the G20. It was in Yashobhumi, another place where you can hold exhibition of any gigantic size. You can have car parkings of more than 3,000 plus. We had P20 there. Look at what has happened to our trains, our airports, our railway stations, our highways. The change is visible. But the greatest change that has occurred is in our digitization. Technology has made deep inroads even in villages. And that is why when it comes to UPI, the world is saluting it. Countries are adopting it. Our transactions are 4 times in 2022 than that of combined transactions of USA, UK, France and Germany. When it comes to adopting to technology, per capita internet usage is more than that of USA and China together. I therefore appeal to you, why some people set narratives as if nothing is happening in the country? I am not a stakeholder in politics. Politicians have freedom to play their politics. Let them set any narratives. But let them not shut their eyes to national interest. Our epochal achievements that are being appreciated by one and all. There was a time, as Sandeep ji indicated, that our economy is now number 5. I see it in a different perspective. Just a decade ago, our economy was fragile 5. Fragile 5. The world was concerned about us. What will happen to the economy of a country which houses 1/6 of humanity? We left behind Canada, UK, they ruled us for centuries, France. Then someone told me, sir, our culture doesn't allow that we leave somebody behind. We take everyone along. We are marching ahead. So, by end of this decade, we'll be marching ahead of Japan and Germany. When people talk, they must realize, and it's a very small category of people. But if their narrative takes center stage, and some of us choose to remain silent, the silence will ever resonate in your ears. हम उस समय चुप क्यों थे जब हमें बोलना चाहिए था? मुझे आपको ये कहना है कि आज का भारत बदल गया है. आज का भारत किसी का मोहताज नहीं है. आज का भारत देश हित को आगे रखता है. ये अंतर्राष्ट्रीय संबंध हो, ये देश में विकास हो. ऐसा पहले कभी नहीं हुआ था कि भारत के विदेश मंत्री से कोई प्रश्न पूछे और वो क्या जवाब देते हैं. मैं आपसे अनुरोध करूंगा, पब्लिक सेक्टर की बहुत कैपेसिटी है. यू हैव समथिंग विच नो वन एल्स कैन डू. नालंदा, तक्षशिला, ये आप क्रिएट कर सकते हो. आपका ह्यूमन रिसोर्स बहुत ज्यादा है. Well, I may have taken a little more time, which I should not have, but normally lawyers never end their arguments unless the judge indicates something favorable is coming. Yes, this slight cheers me, motivates me. There was an occasion, and I'm pained, public sector sometimes is regarded as a punching bag. They associate inefficiency with public sector. How wrong they are. You have to do something about it. In me you can look up as your soldier. It is not inefficient, it is most efficient. It is not a category which doesn't look to balance sheet. It does. The balance sheet is brilliant, but it has another balance sheet which normally others do not have. And that is, they give so much to the society which you cannot imagine. If I look around, there was one public sector undertaking. That undertaking has made Tejas. That undertaking has made a helicopter. Its job card is full. It will have to do much to discharge that obligation. A narrative was set afloat. इनसे काम छीन लिया. इनके पास अब क्या काम होगा? Ignorance is no longer a bliss. My appeal to you, We have been saying for long, ignorance is a bliss. No, ignorance is not a bliss, and sky is not the limit for Bharat. वो कहते हैं ना कि sky is the limit. Sky is not the limit. चंद्रयान 3 ने दिखा दिया है, और चांद के पास 15 लाख किलोमीटर चलकर हम चले गए फोर्टलेसली। किसने सोचा था कि इसरो किन के रॉकेट आसमान में रखेगा? यूएसए का, यूके का, सिंगापुर का। ये हमारी ताकत है। ये बातें मैं इसलिए कह रहा हूं कि यदि कोई रास्ता दिखाएगा डिसरप्टिव टेक्नोलॉजीज को अफर्मेटिवली यूज करने का, वो आप में से आएगा, इफेक्टिवली आएगा, इंपैक्टफुली आएगा, वरना ये टेक्नोलॉजी समाज को ध्वस्त कर देंगी। डीप फेक पर हम चिंतित हैं क्योंकि एक व्यक्ति को प्रभाव डालती है, but this technology has menacing power to ruin security, and we are in the lead nations. This country, our Bharat, will no longer look for technological guidance or input from elsewhere. We will be sharing it with the world. As we shared during COVID, we were battling COVID, a tough job. 100 देशों को कोवैक्सीन मैत्री में वैक्सीन दिया। उनके नेता जब मिलते हैं, कहते हैं भारत ने हमारी तब मदद की जब लोग अपनी मदद करने में लगे हुए हैं। I'll conclude by making one statement. No country in the world has made available co-vaccine certificate electronically on your mobile as India has done. And this I put to a topman from the Western world, that Excellency, you care for your paper industry. We are not as careful as you are. He was stunned. He thought this irrational mind is digressing. He couldn't make out why I was suddenly saying that in your country you take care of paper industry, but in my country this is not a prime concern. With inquisitiveness on his face, he asked me, how come you say that? I said, 2,200 million certificates. Everyone has to. Which could have used how much paper? And if the paper was to be used several times, it would have been billions. Not a single paper has been used in my country for co-vaccine certificate. All electronic. So paper industry has taken a hit. Now people, if you tell someone you are from India, if you tell someone your passport is Indian, he remembers only two things. In present times, amongst global economies of their size, India's rise is at number 1. And number 2, world bodies like International Monetary Fund with confidence say India is a favorite destination of investment and opportunity. Let us make most of it. History is being created in Amrit Kaal thanks to the labor, effort and contribution of every Indian, supporting visionary leadership that thinks big, executes fast, and brings about development for one and all. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद माननीय आपके प्रेरणादायक संबोधन के लिए। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपका। आप सभी से निवेदन है राष्ट्रगान के सम्मान के लिए खड़े रहें।
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा। विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा, तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मा